And it's that 704 watt-hour battery that allows you that great range on your e-bike.
What's that?
Dan Lloyd just sent me a message. Fancy a Madone in Monaco. Wow, he's not as straight-laced as I thought he was. Wow. Josh, sorry, I gotta go. That's an invite I'm not gonna turn down.
Arrived in the south of France, believe it or not. You can barely see any of it because it's so cloudy and so wet, but hopefully the weather will improve. But I have invited Steve Jones of EMBN over here for a challenge. He's really excited, but he doesn't know what the challenge is just yet. He's in for a surprise. Jonesy!
Dan, oh my God, it's so nice in the sun, but you're 2 days late, and why the hell have you brought me to a supermarket in the back end of Madone? I thought we were gonna have a mad one.
No, Madone. That's the Col de la Madone there. That's what we're doing our challenge on that climb, one of the most famous climbs in cycling.
Right.
This is quite a famous supermarket, and as you can see, it's open 24 hours a day, 24 days a week. But no, we've got a challenge today to go from here to the top, which is an elevation gain of about 950
Sorry,
meters.
Dan, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to the top of that hill.
Well, you are off-road because you've got an e-mountain bike, I can see.
I take my e-bike everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, and rather than going on the road at 25 k's an hour, which is what you'd be able to do on that, you'd smash me, basically.
Why do you want to go up that hill? Is it like some kind of record or something?
Well, it's not famous for being in the Tour de France because it hasn't been in the Tour de France. It's famous as a testing ground for a lot of the world's best riders. So the current record is with Richie Porte.
Hold on. It's all coming together now. So Madone, didn't Lance Armstrong live here, right?
Yeah, he lived in Nice.
Right.
He used to use this as his test to know when he was in form for the Tour de France.
Right.
Yeah.
What kind of time are we talking?
Well, it depends where you take it from, but Richie Porte on the main part of the climb, sort of 24 minutes. From about here, just over half an hour.
24 minutes? To the top of that?
It's insane, isn't it?
You've got to be kidding me.
So I've worked out that if he did it in that time, it's going to take me just under an hour, I reckon. So you're going to be way quicker. So what I've done is I've found an amazing off-road route that starts about 400 metres from here. You're going to fork off, we're going to show it to you on the map, and we're going to see which is quickest. You on an e-mountain bike on a gnarly off-road route up, or me at my 260 watts on the road.
So if you're telling me that the record's, what, half an hour did you say?
Yeah.
What's the guy called again?
Richie Porte.
That's like an average of 400 watts then, right?
Well,
that's an average speed of 25 k's an hour.
It is.
So, right, okay.
It's about 400 watts and he weighs about 30 kilograms. So it's quite an impressive power to weight ratio.
Dan,
don't be thinking about Richie Porte's record up here. We'll be nowhere near that.
Dan, if you get up there in under an hour, I'll buy you all the drinks later.
Okay. Right. You're on.
See you later.
Let me just show you the map so you know where you're going.
My route is one that many of you will know. It starts from the Intermarché and it's a little under 13 kilometres to the top, climbing 850 metres at an average gradient of 7%. Steve's alternative route is much shorter at just 9.2 kilometres. However, that means it's also much steeper and being off-road, much harder too. It also includes some downhill, which I'm sure he'll enjoy, but that does mean he'll end up doing more climbing in total.
Right, so you're clear where you're going, where your route is?
Yeah, pretty clear, yeah.
So it's literally about 800 metres up here, you're going to fork off to the left, that's your off-road bit. Yeah. The locals have told me that it's pretty easy.
Easy?
To navigate it, you won't lose yourselves up there. It's going to be hard.
That's a limestone mountain. It's going to be horrendous.
Yeah, that's the idea. Otherwise, like I said, I won't have any chance against you otherwise.
But you know what? I can see a few cut-throughs there. I'll probably get bored of following you up the road, right?
Yeah, well, I say you've got an off-road route.
Okay, right,
otherwise, I'm going to get whooped. Right, are you ready? Yeah. I've just got to calibrate my power meter.
Calibrate your power meter?
Yes, because it's just like a little test for me.
Well, to complete that, I'll calibrate my watch, and the only calibration I'm going to do on my bike is actually stick it into boost mode.
No, I'm not getting full boost mode.
Okay, I'll go and trail.
I'm actually quite nervous. Firstly, I want to beat you, and secondly, this is like a proper fitness test for me.
My tactic is a simple one. I know from recent tests that I'm able to sustain around 255 watts, but I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a bit more now that I'm getting fitter. So I'm going to set out at around 270 watts and then basically hope for the best. Unfortunately, Steve has more power under that metaphorical e-bike bonnet, but on the flip side, he doesn't have nice smooth tarmac all the way up.
Go! Crikey. Bloody hell. Holy, are you actually cycling that pace? That is way quicker than I thought. Who's Dr. Ferrari? Jesus. Dan's going way quicker than I thought he'd be going. Holy shit, are you serious? Oh my God, he's doing like 26k. Dan, oh my God.
You're gonna fork off here, all right?
Bloody hell, what the hell?
Here we go.
Now I can imagine Dan is easing himself into the foothills of the Madone. Me, on the other hand, have got instantly involved with this monumental arm wrestle up hundreds of steps. Whoa, 771 feet. Heart rate is racing. Oh my God, there's the road. So the first road that's 1,000 feet, I think. Where's Dan? Is he above me or is he below me?
So, 3Ks in, average power 282, which is more than I'd planned on setting out at. Did feel quite comfortable at the start. Not so much now. We'll see what I can continue to sustain. Long way to go.
All these slow, tight hairpins, I just can feel that Dan's going to be gaining on me. And then I got these banks. There's no way that Dan's route is going to have stuff as steep as this on it. Oh my God.
A couple of kilometres further on, and 280 watts is starting to feel decidedly hard. And my morale isn't exactly helped when Steve flies past me on the road.
Ridiculous pace. Oh my God, those steps were... Honestly, the steps were so steep. So much hairpins on it. I genuinely cannot believe how fast Dan Lloyd is going. I'm gonna have to just try and make up some time on this quick road section here before the next ridiculous uphill technical challenge. I'll catch you in a bit. As you can see, I'm pretty much riding a riverbed compared to the smooth tarmac that the guys are on. And in terms of physical climbs, this is definitely up there. I can just definitely feel up there on the right, the guys are hundreds of feet ahead of me. I've got a lot to catch up on. I honestly feel like I've been stitched up. That's like about 1,000 steps up there. Honestly, it's so technical. Oh my God. I can't believe it's actually so close. I'm gonna have to, I think it's gonna be head to head from now on. I can't talk.
As I head towards the commune of Sant'Agnès, I'm already beginning to tire. Not a great sign, as that will only be about halfway up. Depressingly, I think I've overestimated the power I'm capable of sustaining, and I've set out too hard. However, the second half of my climb is ever so slightly easier, while Steve is about to head downhill before he starts climbing back up.
haven't seen Steve for a while. Unfortunately, I think he is ahead of me. But my understanding from the locals is he's got quite a surprise coming up towards the end. Just let's say he should keep taking it step by step. Yahoo! That was really hard. Oh, the last part of that climb just goes on forever. Felt like I could see the top so many times and it wasn't. I think I've won. Oh, I'm so out of the zone I even forgot I was in a bloody race. But Steve's not here. Might be time for champagne. Although it's honestly don't even feel like any alcohol at the moment. Christ. Right, stats. So I did go out a bit too hard. I averaged 273 watts in the end. So as you remember, I was 282 near the bottom. So I did fade. I found that last bit really hard. Heart rate was quite low. I'm fairly tired, I think, but I'm pleased I'm up on my FTP and I'm pleased I'm first to the top. Hey! Bloody hell. Whoa!
Oh my God. Are you serious?
I would have been surprised if you made it up there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Are you serious?
Good work, man. That last bit, I heard from the locals, that last bit's super hard.
Oh, totally stitched up. Totally stitched up. Dan, that was physical, it was technical, and I have to say, I feel a little bit stitched up.
Yes. Well, you didn't think I was going to come up with a challenge where I might lose, did you? I will let you in on a little secret. When I spoke to the locals about whether there was an off-road route up here, they told me there was, and I said, I've got a friend that's going to be doing it on a bike, and they looked at me like, well, they looked at me in a way that suggested you weren't going to make it up here, even with the bike, with a motor.
Is that any surprise? Is that any surprise? Do you realise what was involved in that? It's a limestone mountain. The steps on it were horrific. Honestly, it was one of the hardest physical challenges I've done.
I think you were ahead. I mean, the second half was obviously a lot harder than the first because you were ahead until about halfway.
I genuinely thought I was ahead. But remember, I had to drop 100 metres on the climb, so I thought it would balance out.
You must have done a lot of walking in that second half, did you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to rub it in. I've been here for quite some time. I did 52 minutes.
52?
Yeah. I mean, that's still 20 minutes behind Richie Porte. 52
minutes? Up a 13K, 3,300 feet. Sorry, I work in feet, not meters.
Right.
That fair dues, Dan. That is.
I'm quite pleased, not only with my own performance, but with the win.
Well, you'd be
today.
glad to know you have totally carved me up. 1 hour, 26 minutes.
I had a feeling it'd be like that because, yeah, again, not to rub it in, I've been here quite some time. I'm getting cold, actually. Anyway, first ever EMBN versus GCN challenge. It's a win.
But remember, can I say one more thing, Dan? Remember, revenge is a dish best served cold, and there will be another hill on another day, and I'm going to set that challenge.
Oh. Yes. What's it like? Sans alcool.
Seriously?
No alcohol. Anyway, well done, mate. I enjoyed that.
I didn't, in the slightest. I wouldn't wish that on anybody in the world. No. Do not go and do that climb.
On to the next challenge.
On to the next challenge.
Which is?
The next challenge is, Dan, going back down.
A race back down to Monton, you versus me.
race back down to Madone, yes, but not versus me. I thought it'd be rude not to call in the 10 times world downhill champion, Nicola Vulioz, to get you against.
I wondered who that was, hovering just slightly off camera there.
All right.
Nice to see you, Nico.
Yeah. So, si vous voulez voir qui va gagner celle-là, cliquez ici.
Je crois que c'était moi.
Not this time.